Hello, welcome to Needing a Meeting. My name is Carol. I'll be your host today. And we were going to finish up the second half of the video that we reacted to yesterday, which was Tommy Scoville on the lifeboat. Tommy sharing, let's see. I Live with Mental Illness was the name of the video, and it was Sunday mornings, the lifeboat live. Hello, Cosmic. Hi, Plant Freak. Hi, I am the Noise Opera. Welcome. Good to see everybody. How you doing? So, Steve is not feeling well today. So he's probably not going to be here. And I did want to go ahead and send out a 1 for Steve. He's got some temperature and anyway, he would be here if he could, but he's not feeling it today. But yes, he's fine. He was well enough to text me, and I mean, he's not feeling well, but he's not in any it's not like freak out. So, hi, Sarah. Welcome, everybody. So yeah, I thought we'd finish up the Tommy Scoville video. I posted a link if anybody wants to come into the room and talk live on camera. That sounds scarier than it is. It really is, especially when you got a whole bunch of people. Yeah, especially when you got a bunch of people in here with you. It's not nearly as intimidating. If you're just carrying on a conversation with some good folks. Well, if nobody else is going to come into the room, usually what happens is I start the video, then everybody wants to show up, and that's fine. I'll start the video anyway. This is the second half of the lifeboat on Sunday morning. Okay, let's see, get it sharing going here. Okay, here we go.
My drug of choice was heroin, and I've been to prison. Right, it has a much different effect than if I go. I've been sober 8 years. I was a heroin addict. I went to prison. What I do now is I try to help people stay sober. It's not a great deal of difference between those two messages, except how I say it. I'm not going to be embarrassed about what I did. I'm not. I'm gonna get some emails today from people who say to me, "There's no excuses for anything." I don't make excuses for anything, but I wasn't in my right mind because I know what my right mind is now, and I'm not kicking my own ass for things I didn't do in my right mind for the rest of my life. It doesn't seem like it's justice to me.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we do what we do when we're not doing well inside, and maybe there's control over what we do, and you know what? A lot of times there isn't. And we need a better world for people to not be okay. Hello, Christy. How are you? Looks like you're frozen. Sarah Matthews, you are so very welcome for the puppies. Was it the puppies with their dad? Oh my gosh, that was so sweet. He was so good with them. He's not even a year old himself. He's going to be a year old on December 29th. And I just was really, really amazed at how good he was with his little puppies. How are you, Christy?
I'm good. Can you hear me?
I can.
Oh, yay. I have tried everything. I've taken my computer out. I've turned it on early. It's still just...
It's still what?
Did you hear me?
Oh, yeah. And it does go back to nurses. I missed the last part of whatever you said.
Oh, I said, I've tried everything. I've tried warming it up, starting it early, and it still just does what it does. So I can talk in.
Okay.
It
Yeah, the
usually
puppy
takes a couple
videos.
minutes.
Oh my gosh. The puppy videos, man, that's some therapy. Oh my God, those little puppies are good therapy. They
They're
are.
so adorable.
They are. And the little solid brown one she's wrapping my little heart around her little paws. So yeah, she may not be going anywhere. The rest of them are gonna go to other farms that need livestock guardians. That's what they're kind of being raised to be. But yes, like Zelda was saying, it does go back to forgiving ourselves, because there is nothing we can do about what we did back there, you know? And that is the hardest, trickiest thing, is forgiving ourselves. But, you know, because
Oh, yeah.
it's bad. We look back in it in our right mind, it's bad. But at the time, you know, we were just surviving, trying to survive, you know? They Plant Freak, the puppies are 3/4 Great Pyrenees, 1/4 Anatolian Shepherd. That's the mix that both the mom and the dad are, but they are not in any way related. They're not even the same age. She's 3 years old, and he is not even 1 year old. Hello, how are you doing, Tammy C? Glad have a doctor's appointment on Friday. I'm glad you have a doctor's appointment Friday too, Tammy. I hope that they find what's going on and that it's nothing major. We will put out a 1 for that, for your heart and for that doctor visit. Forgiveness to ourselves is hard. It is. So I'm going to start the video. Did you hear about Steve, Christy? Christy?
No.
He's not feeling well. He has some temperature.
Oh.
Yeah. So I don't think he'll be here today. I'm
Oh.
pretty sure yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. I hope he's okay. We'll just keep putting those ones out for him.
Yes, absolutely.
Great Pyrenees are very, very, very sweet. They are about as sweet as they come, and as fierce a protector as could ever want too. Yes. All right, and on with Tommy Scoville.
I made mistakes, not in my right mind. Took responsibility for them, went to prison for them and did my time.
Yeah.
I used that time to make myself a better human being. And now I'm trying to pass on some stuff that a guy taught me because I owe it to him. Right? I really do. And this has become an amazing, amazing therapy for me. I love the people that I meet here. Some just amazing, amazing people. And I'm honored to be doing what I'm doing, and that's a fact. So this just works. It works really well for me. Charlie Murphy, Charlie Mullins, just to throw it up there. Charlie is a rock star, people. Charlie Mullins was. I joined YouTube. If you look, it'll say that that this channel started in October of 2020. Right? It didn't. That was just when I put up my name so that I could watch my brother's channel. But the day that I did, Charlie became a member. It was the first thing. I was like, holy crap, I got a subscriber. How did that happen? But it was Charlie was the first guy, and been with me ever since. And just a good friend of my family, and has just been he and his wife are the salt of the earth. And I got to embarrass him every once in a while. So yeah, if you're embarrassed, can't get help.
Yeah.
We need people. We need to tell people that it's okay to stumble. You're damn right.
Yeah.
You're damn right.
Yeah.
And the best thing about YouTube. Somebody said to me the other day, It's got to be getting exciting because the channel's growing really fast. It is, man, and it's exciting. This is what you dream of when you have a mission, right? When you have a mission. Honest to God, people, the idea of what's happening with the lifeboat was never, no joke, never a thought. Never a thought. I didn't think we'd get far past 1,000. I thought we could hit 1,000. I did, and I wanted to monetize because I knew that if YouTube pushed the product, we had a chance for more addicts to see it. But I never 10,000. Never thought there was a chance in hell of that. But what ended up happening is you guys hijacked the boat and made it a much better version than the one that I came up with. That's literally what happened. And since that's been it's been beautiful. Third, people, supportive environments. Massive. Foster a supportive and empathetic environment where individuals feel safe discussing their mental health without fear of judgment or discrimination. This can be within families, communities, educational.
Hi, Sarah.
Hello.
How are you?
Hi.
Outside. We'll see
We
if my
are
wife
talking
will let
about
me.
mental health. Let me get you
Oh,
turned up a
good.
little bit here.
This is for it.
Good. Yeah. You know, I almost feel like
Can you hear me?
Can you guys?
I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay. It says
Okay.
reconnecting. But
Yes.
It just
Sure.
I
said
had
my
to turn you
computer's
up a little
not
bit, but
working.
yes, I can hear you.
Okay. All right.
And I missed
I just,
whatever you just said, Christy.
oh, that's okay. My computer just said my mic quit working, so I didn't know if you could still hear me.
I can hear you.
Okay, perfect. It's just doing weird stuff.
So this is the channel that I go to called the Lifeboat, and it's a sobriety channel, but you know, kind of like us, we kind of branch out into other areas, and so this was a video that he did Sunday morning on mental health, and it was fabulous, and I really just thought it would be good to share it here. We were going to do it Sunday, but then we never got to it. We just kept talking about it, about the subject matter, but never get into the video. So I started it yesterday, and Steve Molesky had asked that we finish it today, and he can't be here today, but we're finishing it nonetheless.
Well, perfect. Because I was just, I had one day off. I've been working every day, and so what do I do with my day off? I decided to paint my kitchen, which now I'm exhausted. And there should be peace in the world because my kitchen, it's like, and then like, why am I like this? Like, why? I'm like, I'm tired, exhausted. To take a nap, but the nap didn't want me. So, wondering why do we do that? Is it an attempt to control things that in a world that we can't control, and we can't control our anxiety? I don't know.
I don't know either. I get, I painted my laundry room after I got it all put together, neat and tidy, organized, and hated the paint. And then it took me a year to get that part of the house back together after I painted.
Are you glad you did that?
Yeah, why we do these things to ourselves, I don't know.
Well, I'm currently painting my bedroom red, so that's a whole adventure. I'll post pictures when it's all done, but yeah, painting,
Right.
not fun. I feel your pain.
Right. Yeah, it's right in between my shoulders.
Oh yeah,
Right.
yeah, reaching up and doing all that stuff.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah.
funny how you're older, you feel that stuff a lot more.
Yeah. Yeah.
So is it painted? Is it finished?
Well, and I'm like, I'll show you. It's pretty well painted. It's almost painted. I need to do like a second coat with the tight cabinet roller, to make it look smooth. But
Okay.
well,
Okay.
I know.
Ooh.
Well, that's me.
All right. Well, I'm going to
Nice.
continue on with the video here.
Yeah.
Here we go. I'm going to starting back up.
It is helps to
No
know that I'm not
institutions
alone,
are
though.
on the boat.
Yeah. Right on.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Right now.
It's okay. It's okay. You know, anytime you want to interrupt with something that comes to mind, just do it, and I'll work around it,
Okay.
because that's what we're here to do. We're here to talk about what's being talked about.
Mhm.
So yeah, if you have something that you want to jump in with, feel free.
I believe wholeheartedly that it is possible to create the kind of environment I just described online. I think we've done it with the lifeboat. People like Charlie and all of the people that got here first are the people that made that happen. Plain and simple. Oh, what a nice thing to say, Paula. What a lovely thing to say. And you know what? The day is coming, people, where there's going to be more than 2 hours a day. The lifeboat. My vision of the lifeboat has always been that the day will come where there will be 24 hours of content on the lifeboat. There will be a meeting anytime you come here. Probably won't be while I'm still sitting here in this chair, because I will have to be able to kind of phase myself out in order to make that happen. But at some point, this thing's going to be around the clock. It is, because this environment is needed. By the way, people, if you knew what is in store for you, like I am bringing in people that are so much younger than I am that it is almost embarrassing. However, we're going to. I get the question a lot with how this is growing. How can you possibly see to all of the people, right? It was easy when there was 10 people here. Believe it. We saw every one of them on the phone, right? Whoever wanted to talk to me could talk to me at any time, and we really got a lot done. But we're growing. We're growing fast. It's bigger than we ever thought, and I believe this is that environment that I just described. So I believe that's right. There is a chance that the boat will become a fleet. There are other channels that are spawning off of the boat that are fantastic. If you have not gone over to check out Need a Meeting, then you need to. There's a group of people over there every day that are doing wonderful stuff, and really solid, no joke connection is going on there, and I think that's just fantastic. You know, the more channels that are doing just what we're doing, the better. You hear me? That's that's one of the coolest things I've ever heard. If I could get to that point, I think that would.
Yeah.
You know how they have SPTV? We should have like Fleet TV and have a little boat. You know what I mean? Like, you know how SP has like, we should call it Fleet TV and have a little boat.
Yeah, 100%. Well, yeah.
That was a
That
cool
would be
shout
cool
out,
if there was a
Carol.
network of all the Huh?
I said he gave you a shout out.
I know. I couldn't believe it. It's like he's been doing that, and yeah, the first time I heard, I'm like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
I did send him an email thanking him for that, because that's amazing. That is amazing support, you know?
Oh, yeah. He's done it quite a few times, actually. And then he'll always have the mods drop the link. So it's pretty awesome. That's all I wanted to
I love that.
say.
Okay. Yeah.
Like, please, I wanted.
Fleet TV. Love it.
Me too.
That would just be great. You must just be really open. I think that I've thought about this at length, right? I really have thought about, yes, Need a Meeting is on YouTube. Can I get a wrench to put up a link to Need a Meeting, please? I hope I have a wrench. I know Charlie's here. I can't remember who's here. There we go. Noise Opera's there. There's your meeting link. I'll tell you what, people, even if you go and hit the subscribe button to that channel, because I promise you, it's fantastic content you're going to thank later.
Journaling used to be necessary to figure out my feelings. Now
I really think that creating environments where people can talk about what is going on in their life. What's really cool at Need a Meeting is you're going to see people over there that don't have drug problems, who are over there just talking about what they need to heal. Right? That's beautiful stuff. It really is. It's beautiful stuff. I've also gotten some great suggestions from some people. We're going to start doing like an open night, an open mic night. It's not going to literally be open mic, but I'm going to start giving an opportunity for some people to, we're going to pick one day a week, use some talent on the boat. We're going to give an opportunity for people to come and sit here with a larger audience than they would normally get, to see how they feel sitting in front of a camera and seeing if this is something that they would feel comfortable doing. Neat. And if they are, then maybe we help them get channel up and running, or maybe they sit in the chair here every once in a while. But that is something that I got as an email. I thought it was a fantastic idea. I love it. And it's something that I'm going to be pursuing going forward. So if you ever thought to yourself, I might like to try that, think about it. Let me know what you'd be wanting to talk about. Get it put together. Don't send me an email in 5 minutes from now saying to me, I'm your guy, or I'm your
like the whole meeting.
Think about
was
it. Tell me what you want to do. Be about
I don't know,
that kind of thing. Because I would
it really just depends on what people start with.
Talent for people that want to help people connect. Absolutely would be something I'd be interested in doing. And there doesn't have to be this genre, people. It has to be connection. So if you want to talk about, if you're a domestic assault survivor and you want to do, I'm talking about an open, as long as you're talking about connection and giving people an opportunity to come and talk about healing, right? I'm wide open. Proposals, I love it. Send them to me, and I would very much like to do that. Tommy, could you do members only streams? Let me tell you something about members only streams. What I need to do now is I have to scrap StreamYard. For me to do member chats, this is the most confusing thing. And you also have to realize that I am so technologically crippled, right? That the only thing I have are touch screens, and I got people that can set them up. I'm being perfectly honest with you people. There is a part of my brain that I promise works better than yours. I'm not being arrogant. It's the way I'm built. There's a part of my brain that really works right. I mean, a little better than right. But there's a part of my brain that doesn't. And I am so intimidated, and I am so just crippled by the computer thing. I can't get, because I go through StreamYard and that locked into my computer and the lifeboat, I need to use a different streaming service to do. I would do them all the time. I would do members onlys constantly. It is damn near impossible if you have set yourself up on StreamYard on your computer first for a guy like me to make that happen. I have a bunch of them, but I have, it's probably not going to happen. I'm just keeping it real. What ends up happening is it's a beautiful way for people to help support the channel and what we do. And if you wonder what we do, when people come here and they say, I'm ready to quit doing fentanyl, I would do Suboxone today. The issue is the money. We don't let the issue be the money. And the number of people that we've been able to help is phenomenal. We've been blessed, and we've been blessed because of people who have been generous to a fault. Color therapy. Jennifer, I'm not familiar with color therapy, but I do know that the massive changes that happen. I do know this in prison systems and in jails. They have taken to painting the units, the hallways, and everything else in specific colors to mellow people out. Oh, don't get... Please.
In color therapy,
please,
have any of you guys tried glasses?
Do not...
do what?
In color therapy, have any of you guys tried the colored glasses?
I have not.
No.
I didn't.
Okay, I have some. They sell them all the time. Like, I think they're a lot I don't know. I don't want to say the wrong things, but you can look them up. There's different colored glasses that do different things. Like there's blue, reds, pinks, ambers. Like it's color therapy glasses instead of just paint.
Okay.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
The colored glasses here.
Okay.
Yeah, like I had an orange and that kind of makes sense. Like when I wear like amber sunglasses, I feel happier. Sometimes
Really?
everything's greener.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I
Go
always
ahead.
wore black sunglasses because when I would get my migraines, I would need to
Right.
black everything out as much as possible. But I've never heard of the other. That's very interesting. I like that.
Oh yeah. There's a whole thing on it. Like and then there's a whole spectrum and they'll give you like what they help with, like anxiety,
Okay.
Oh, okay.
mood changes.
Cosmic Christie.
She's awake.
Hello. How are you, Cosmic?
Yeah. I'm here. I have been here the whole time. I've just been popping around and trying to get myself organized.
Right on.
Yeah.
Someone had suggested to me that, you know, when you're not feeling like you're quite in your right place internally, putting on a gray hoodie and putting the hood over and just kind of cozying up in that. I haven't tried it yet, but I did get a gray hoodie just to see if it would make a difference.
Oh my
if I'm
God.
having a bad day.
I zipped myself up in a complete like onesie. Like I put it on here. The whole face part zips up.
I changed my lights. Excuse me. I changed my lights to blue because I've got a smart house, so I can just like a Google smart house. So I changed my lights to blue. It's calming. Like,
does it work?
Yeah, because I don't like the dark. So when I go to sleep, until I'm asleep, and then I'm like, okay, Google. Oh, sorry.
You know, I don't really know why gray, Zelda. Anyway, what were you saying? I apologize, Cosmic.
Yeah, and then I say machine lights out, and then after I go to sleep, because once I go to sleep, then I need it to be dark, but I can't go to sleep.
Yeah. Do you have to have the house like a certain way to go to sleep?
I like it tidy. So 2 days away, and I got home really, really stressed. I think that's why I kind of needed a meeting, is that I got home and I was in panic mode. Like, I can't even remember why I needed a meeting, really. It's just I was in panic mode last night. So actually, even just talking to everyone in the group chat last night actually calmed me down a little bit, having a bit of a laugh and everything. It was soothing. It stopped me from going into full panic mode, because I was sobbing for hours. I don't even really know why.
Oh.
Like I do know why. Like I chronic fatigue. I had heat stroke. I still got heat stroke. Apparently, it can last for up to a week. And I was fully hydrated. I made sure I only had one drink when I was there. That might be another reason why, because I might have gone into slight withdrawal. But I made sure I had like 400, because I'm in counting. I'm in like reducing mode now, because I'm like about a week out from, because I'm fully analytical about all this. I'm about a week out from my medication from hopefully kicking in.
Okay.
And because I said to one of my support workers yesterday, like, if this doesn't stop making me woozy, and like if it's got a month from stop making me woozy, or I have to stop taking it, because I can't live like this. I had to get wheelchaired. I was in the medic tent for the last part, of the concert, because I was like overwhelmed by the noise. Like, it was fine until Devo got on stage, because it was like high bass metal up until that stage, and then Devo got on stage, and then it was like whip it good right in my ear.
They're real technical, like techno.
Yeah, and I like them, but at my volume, which is low.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
You
I
know,
can
so
see
it's
where
like,
that would be a little much. Yeah.
yeah, and I forgot to take these in, which is like, and like even if I just had taken these in with me, they minimize the noise. Like they just sort of, they're noise cancelling headphones. So if if there's nothing playing, they just kind of dull the noise.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So I didn't take them in with me because I didn't want to look autistic.
Okay. Do
You
you
know.
have the inner
But then-
ear plugs?
No, I think I need to get some the noise minimizing things. It's just like I can't handle. That's why I wear these rather than the earbuds, because I don't like things in my ears. It's a whole sensation thing.
Oh.
Okay.
I have some, they're called Loop. They're kind of comfortable, but I get that. I was hoping I could sleep in them, but I can't. Like, I mean,
Well, if I sleep in these, I just put one on my
these are blue colored therapy glasses. Whee!
Oh.
Okay.
yeah,
And they help.
and
They really help, huh?
The glasses, I think they do. I mean, I got a whole bunch of different ones. I think I had pink and blue, and of course my daughter wore them, and they're relatively cheap. But I want to say like these are indigo, and I'll try to I'll find like the sheet of what all the different color lights helps do to the brain.
Okay.
the red ones are meant to help with dyslexia because they're meant to help you put words right in order.
Oh, interesting.
Wow.
Because I went to like my writing group last night, even though I was dead tired. Like I laid down, I was like, I don't want to go. But it's like this women's writing group, and it's led by this 90-year-old woman who I love. And so I went, and I was really glad I did go. I don't even know where I was going with that, but there was something that you said.
Red and
And
dyslexia.
And
Oh, dyslexia. We do this Texas hug thing. Thank you for bringing me back to dyslexia. And I'm always like so afraid I'm going to step on someone's feet. And then one time we had to read out loud. I'm 43. We had to read like just one sentence out loud, and she passed out pictures, and I like counted out which number I was. And rather than listening, I was like pre-reading what I had to read out. like I was a child. I was like, Sarah, pay attention, you know?
Oh.
Yeah. So I'm just, and I just think I'm overwhelmed, and it takes a few days to get over because they actually had to, and I got lost. I've got air tags, so my one of my support workers was there with me because they're my friends as well, and
Okay.
and she had my keys, my car keys, because I need my air tags for my car keys. Don't even get me started. But my phone went flat real quick for some reason. I don't even know why. Maybe because I've got like a million apps open on it. So I couldn't find her. She couldn't find me. Her phone went flat really fast. Apple products, I swear. But yeah, so it was just a mishmash of things, and I sat in the same spot for an hour. But she forgot what I look like. We're both ADHD. We're perfect, I swear. And she forgot what I look like, and I was looking for pink hair. But there's so many people at festivals with pink hair, I swear. And I was wearing my cloak, and she forgot that I wasn't that I wasn't wearing the hat that she was expecting. So it's just like, you know.
Don't chase her.
So I was sitting in one spot, and then I went and got some food for her because I thought she'd be hungry, and a drink, and there were some water bottles. They're $5 a water bottle at our festivals. But they've got these. Sorry, distracted. And so I was waiting at the entrance because I knew she had to walk in the entrance to come in because she went and parked the car, and I was just. So I ended up going and asking a medic if they had some ice I could put on the back of my neck because I was starting to feel heat and also overwhelmed, and I'm trying to use some DBT tactics of like changing my temperature because I was starting to feel panic because everyone started to crowd around me, and this whole group of people stood in front of me. I'm just like, and I moved up a little bit, and then moved up a little bit, and then moved up a little bit, and then moved down a bit, and then moved down. I was like, and it was just like, I was just starting to get so frustrated. And also, it was like almost 40 degrees Celsius, which I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit. It was freaking hot. And I don't have temperature regulation. I have temperature regulation problems now. I say now. I always thought I just never adapted to Australian heat.
Mm-hmm.
Autism.
I have that too.
Yeah. So like in winter, I can't seem to get warm unless I put lots and lots of layers on, and then I'm like taking them off and put it back on, taking them off, put it back on. And in summer, I'm just like, and need my aircon. I'm sitting right in front of it right now. And so it's just like, and so I went up to some medic to ask for an ice pack, just put on the back of my neck. I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't want to be dramatic about it, but I feel like I might pass out. Like, yeah. And they're like, oh, that's all right. I'll just put you in this wheelchair. I'm like, oh no, I can probably walk. As I'm like swaying, and they're like, no, it's fine. And they're like, there's two little people, and I'm quite short, but I wouldn't say I'm actually no. I'm quite little. I'm also probably a hobbit, Christie. So anyway, they wheeled me all through this big crowd of people, and they're going like, it's not drugs. It's just it's not drugs. It's not even alcohol. I'm just overheated. I'm just thinking it. I'm not saying it out loud.
Right.
Oh God, it was so embarrassing, and it was so far from the entrance. I'm thinking, if I was the organisers, I would have done it so much better. It would just be upstairs from the entrance, because that's where I walked, because I thought it was like, it's logical. Mm-hmm. Anyway, it was so embarrassing, and they've got me, wheel me in, and anyway, I was entertained for so long, because I was like sitting there like a school kid waiting for my mum to pick me up after school, as if she'd forgotten me because gone home after work. But anyway, all these people coming in, drug affected, heat affected. I'm just sitting there like, sitting on the edge of the cot, like swinging my legs, my own little fan, watching all these people like ice pack on my neck. I was like a little kid, like entertained, but not thinking like, this is really sad, because they're all young, they had MDMA, people being punched in the head from in the mosh pit, and I'm just like, today I learned I'm too old for this. Yeah. But it was so sad, and then it's just like, don't do drugs.
Yeah.
And I was so glad. Oh, yeah, you go, Kristen. Sorry.
I was going to say, especially to see it in the like where you're at in life right now, where you're at in your recovery, what you're trying to do, to see that would have been a difficult thing, especially with them being young. I can understand how that could be,
And I was so sober, and there was one that was like writhing around on the bed, and and there was one right next to me that was like, she was just actually heat affected, but there was one a couple of beds over, and she was like, throwing up, and I'm like, I'm just gonna turn this way, because I'm a bit nauseous myself at the moment. I'm just gonna look this way, and I'm like, because they gave me one of those hospital throw-up bags, and I'm just I don't need it. I'm fine. I've taken Maxilon. I've been really responsible today. I'm drinking lots of water. I've kept myself hydrated. It's just that I feel like I'm going to pass out. I think it's heat stroke, because it is. It's heat stroke. I know the signs. I haven't had it since I was a kid, because I was sitting next to my carer later on in the night, and I was like, do I have a headband on? I was trying, because it's a tension headache, which is something that's a sign of heat stroke. I'm like trying to figure out if I had my face mask or anything else on, but yeah, it was just like, ugh. She's like, no, you need to go sit in the aircon, because I kept going from inside to outside because I had FOMO because everyone else was sitting outside smoking cigarettes, and I don't smoke cigarettes anymore. I do vape because I'm trying to. That's my next thing to come off after the alcohol. But yeah, it was just like, what? I was just trying to figure out where this, because it's been so long since I had heat stroke. I was trying to figure out where the headband was, and I was so confused. She's like, "You're right." I'm like, what does it mean when you've got a headband around your head? She's like, that's a tension headache. Go lie down in the room and get cool and just, yeah. I was just like, I actually feel like I've got one now, but I've got a fan on and sitting in front of the aircon, so this is the best place for me because my room's hot. It's really, really warm here right now. So anyway, that's my little story and my little freak out. And I think last night was I had a bit of a meltdown on the themes of Tommy's video. And that's quite common for me, but it's a big thing that, and also because I was really annoyed that I came home to a really messy house. It's not hard to stack the dishwasher and sweep the floor.
Right.
Just making sure I haven't seen anyone today, so yeah, no one's here. So I'm just a really messy house, and my support workers, like, they're not meant to clean up after. They're meant to help me clean and not clean up after me, but be my body double, which is someone who helps me clean, because I find it difficult to know where to start, and I get overwhelmed, especially when it was like a Mount Everest of dishes and the floor, and I'm just like, I walked in and I was like, what the heck is this? And I was just like, because I can't handle clutter. Like my desk is clutter, but it's my clutter. I have piles. I know what's in my pile, and that's a very ADHD thing.
Right.
But I know what's in my pile.
I totally
It's an organizational style. I learned that. I hired a professional organizer who was like, your style is piles. And I was like, no, that's not it. But so apparently it is.
Yeah. But my daughter does it too. And if you mess with my pile, and I even know where stuff is in my pile, because I don't have it. Yeah, and I don't have visual memory. So, is it called aphantasia or something like that? So, like, I may not have a visual memory of where it is, but I have like I don't know how it works. It's crazy to me because I have flashbacks, but it's my mind is unique. I'll just say that. I was going to say something.
I could have hoarding tendencies. I don't know.
Yeah.
I am more than willing to throw stuff out. I've been throwing out the kids' stuff that's broken while she's not here. It's broken.
With that a long time. I do make myself get rid of things, and I started that in the early 2000s. I recognized that this stuff was going to
throw
over
stuff out. Right.
if I didn't do something.
Right.
See, and I'm the other way. I will get rid of stuff like crazy. I get rid of it, and I haven't used it in a month. I don't need it. I'll get rid of it, and then I'll need it, and I'll have to go buy something else.
Yeah.
So but I do have the piles. That is also my organizational style, and I know exactly what you mean as far as like, don't mess with it, because I'll have, especially when I'm being creative, I have heaps and mounds of stuff, and it's just like, don't touch it. I know exactly in that pile where everything is at. Everything else is really tidy, but that, so, and
yeah.
I'm sorry that you came home to a house that triggered you like that.
Yeah, after you were already struggling.
Yeah.
Well, to make light of everything, there's a song like "Don't Call Me Dude." Mine is "Don't Touch My Shit."
Not touchy.
Yeah, I do that too, actually, because and that's another thing. Like, I didn't have to. I'm quite willing because I couldn't go outside, But I had so everyone in my friend group calls everyone niece and nephew. So I'm auntie to a whole bunch of kids that I'm not related to in any way or shape or form, but I'm auntie. So I'm Auntie Christie. So, but was it last night? No, the night before. Last night I actually got some sleep. But yeah, so I was sitting there in my little corner next to the TV near the charger with my headphones on, and I had little Scarlett and Will, and they were both arguing over what TV show to watch. And before that, they were arguing over a toy. And Will grilled on his little pretend grill, a puppet koala. And I'm just there going, I said to my carer, I'm overwhelmed. So Scarlett's mum comes in, like, honestly, they're good kids. They're sweet. It's just like they're raucous. And I'm like, the night before, been to a concert with like a whole bunch of like people right up in my face, you know, and then like all these kids like right up in my face, and I had two dogs right up in my face, and I was like, but I couldn't go outside, and I couldn't leave these two kids because I was like being the Auntie Christie, because like these kids all love me because in some way they're all neurodivergent. They actually are, you know, and they all just flock to me because I'm quiet and I'm gentle. I never yell. I'm just like, okay, just da, 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 da. But I'm also like, stop that, or I'm getting Mel. Because I don't do the punishing or the, you know, the telling off. I'm going to get Mum.
Right. I do that with my nephews. I remember one time my nephew was acting up, and he's like, "Are you going to tell my dad?" And I'm like, "No, I'm not. You are." You know, because I'm just like, I can't tell on you. Like, this needs to be handled. I don't want to be the one to tell on you, so I'm going to be telling yourself.
Oh no, I'm a dibber dobber. I am a dibber dobber. You do the wrong thing, I am telling on you.
Well, and for my nephews, it's like really scary for them to have, and not my brother's not mean. It just telling dad, you know, and they're like, oh, no, no. I'm like,
actually, I might use that next time.
Well, you know, it works. Like it really does, because they'll get kind of sassy with me, and you know, I'm like really nice and pleasant, and then I'm like, okay, you know, you've got about one more time, and then you're going to tell your dad. And it's more, you know, my brother's like, don't give Aunt Christie a hard time, you know, like doesn't want anybody to. And so for them to have to sit down and be like, Dad, you know, whatever it was, like, didn't pick up my toys or whatever. It's more, I think that's more traumatic for them to have to like tell their dad than anything he does. He's not mean. He just gives him that look. And I can't see the comments. I had to come in on my phone, so I can't see any of the comments. I can't see any of the chat. I tried to pull it up on my computer. When it rains here, there's something about the trees and all of that that causes my internet to skip out really bad. And I can't be on my computer, but my phone works fine. But when I'm on my phone, I can't see any of the chat. Like even now, all I see is awakened by the looking glass. Like I can tell there's a comment there, but I don't know what it is. So.
I'm
awakened by the looking glass.
I was just going to read this to you. Yeah, I'm the same, Misha.
Awaken was saying, when I'm having a panic attack and people are all up in my face with concern, are you okay? I want to console them, which makes me worse. Rinse, repeat. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
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 Yeah. Now, I was going to ask you, Cosmic, was it triggering for you to be in that like medical tent, seeing all of that stuff going on with the people, or were you just like more empathetic toward them? Like, did it,
At first I was amused because Limp Bizkit was like, are you okay? And I was sitting with these two blokes with my own fan, and they had to share this fan that was rotating, so they only got it like every now and then, and they're like, that fan is nice. I'm like, yeah, it is, eh? And they're like, you got your own one. I'm like, yeah, I know. And they're like, must be good. I'm like, yeah, it is. Anyway, so, and Limpix was like, are you okay? I'm like, no, because I'm sitting here. And like the guy was like, a valid point. And I'm like, because like when I'm out, I put on this, I seem to have this mask of like, what's the opposite word to introvert? Extrovertness.
Okay.
Yeah. Opposite of introvert is an extrovert. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I have this extrovert thing, so I'll talk to people. So, but it wasn't triggering until after, because when I'm out, I've got this mask on, and then it's probably another reason why I had a bit of a meltdown last night, is because I got home, mask was off.
Right. I see.
Waken was saying, "Cause all glittery, I love her and sparkles, LOL." But she's trying to spark a seizure.
I'm sorry, it's just that it was right in my eye. So, like my actual profile pic on thing is actually unfiltered. It's actually me standing over there on the wall with one of them on my eye. So yeah. So, but yeah, it's just like it's really difficult to keep the mask on. Oh, and then actually, I do know what triggered. I do know what triggered it. Is
Okay.
that Okay, so I'm actually not the meat in the middle. I've taken myself out of two situations. Mm-hmm. So my mum and my sister are arguing, and that upsets me. But I'm used to that. That's been going on for years. But my best friend and her partner not having a good time. And I'm hearing it from both sides, and I understand both sides. Like, I understand it so much, like, from both sides, and I just don't want to lose either of them. Mm-hmm. I'll never lose my best friend, ever, you know. But so my best friend's partner is my support worker as well. She'll continue to be my support worker, no matter what happens, unless she decides to, you know, go on and, you know, be a nurse or whatever. Right. See? And I was just like, she just broke down and sobbed. And see, I only ever hear one side of the story, but there's always three sides, sometimes four.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah.
Right there. See, there it is. And she just broke down and sobbed, you know, and she's not a crier.
Oh.
Yeah. So I just feel like it was heartbreaking. I was just sitting there passing tissues as she was driving me home, you know.
Yeah. Oh.
So that's kind of what I think that's what set me off. I only just remembered because yeah, and it was just like I said the same thing to both of them, because I was meant to go into politics because I'm very diplomatic. I said the same thing to both of them.
Yeah.
You have to choose what you want. It's up to you to decide what you want. And I said the exact same thing to both of them.
Yeah.
Because it was.
Oh.
But yeah, it's just like, what else can I say? And I will not run between both of them and say what the other one has said.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to come between a relationship.
Mm-mm. No.
Yeah. No, that's a bad spot to be when two people are having issues like that, and especially when they're both, you know, you care about them both. They're both your friends. You know, that's why I say to my friends, you know,
I said the exact same thing to both of them. I'm not running between both of you and saying what the other one said. You know, and please don't ask me to, because I've been doing that between my mum and then my mum got upset at me because I said something like, I said, I'm not going to be the meat in the middle.
Yeah.
But my sister asked me to pass on a message, and then she asked me to respond to her because she's blocked, well, not blocked, but restricted my mother. But she asked me to tell her what my mother responded. So I did. And I said, and I just screenshotted exactly, so I didn't get anything wrong, because I get my words muddled. So I did. And I said, that's it. I'm done. You know, I am taking myself out of the situation. I am on both your sides, but I'm not taking your side. But because I see all perspectives. Oh, and it's so frustrating. Sometimes I wish I was just one-sided.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. And it's tough, you know, because you care about both people. And you know, you don't want to see any of your friends, or in this case your mom or your sister, you know, suffer. But that's a very fair boundary for you to have. And you're kind of, I can understand if you're going through it with your mom and your sister, and now your best friends and your other caregiver. That's, you know,
she's
that's
also one of my best friends. I have so many best friends. You're all my best friend now.
well, you know, yeah. But now that's 4 people that are kind of having this turmoil in their life. And that's tough to, you know, to navigate.
Really overwhelming. And I'm just like, and I'm like chronically fatigued, barely can think sometimes. Now I've got this heat stroke, and I just think last night I was just like so overwhelmed and on the verge of like you know, like I said, I've come far not to be smashing plates, but like I look in my cupboard, I'm like, I'm running out of plates, and I kind of like the ones I've got left. So I'm not even joking.
My Aunt Lil, this was her recommendation when I got frustrated. Here we have a thing called the dollar store where everything's like $1 or $1.25, I think it is now. I don't know if you have one of those over there. She's
the
like,
Dollar Tree.
We call them silly solis.
Oh, there you go. She goes, now my aunt's very southern. She goes, now, honey, you just go on up to the Dollar Tree and you just buy a bunch of plates and you go out and you just chuck those things at the trees. You smash them on the floor. They only cost you $1. It is no big deal. And then you just go buy more when you're out. And I'm like, Aunt Lil. I'm like, I mean, I suppose. So if I get you some cheap plates.
Well, see, the thing is, I want to get a bin just for plates so I don't have to clean them up. Because every time I break a plate or do that sort of thing, I always cut myself. So I always, you know, there's always some sort of repentance. Although there was one time at band camp, there was one time, I'm not proud of this. One of my abusers was, he was like, you clean that up. I'm like, I will. And I was cleaning it up, but I was standing on it at the same time. Barefoot. So he had to clean it. I am a petty bitch. I will cause myself pain.
Ooh.
Yeah. I was just so mad, you know. But I regretted it, you know. I was just like, I'm petty, but I'm dumb.
Yeah. Defiance can do more harm to us than anyone else, more than in so many situations. And I have a tendency to buck up like that, you know.
Oh, Tammy's. Oh, I can't type on this.
Tammy, sorry I have to go. Just some possible not good news about my husband from his doctor.
Oh,
we
no.
will family.
Yes.
Will lift.
Sending you lots of love, Tammy.
Yeah.
Take care of yourself.
I can't type. I've still got like don't know if you can see it, but I've got quite a bruised.
Oh, yes. I can see it, like right on the inside there. Yeah.
Yeah,
Ouch.
it's not broken or anything. I
Ouch.
can still move it. So it's just sprained. So my support worker was like, I'm taking you to the hospital. I'm like, I can still move it. But it's movable. So it's all fine. But anyway, there's my drama for the thing. And most of it's not even really mine.
Right. Right.
But it
I take on
doesn't.
my mum says I've always taken the world on my shoulders ever since I learned to read. Because maybe I shouldn't have started off with the encyclopedia.
Yeah.
And newspapers. Yeah.
Well,
But I also, yeah. No, you go. Sorry.
Can say it's hard not to take on the energy of others sometimes, especially when you love and care about them. I mean, we can sometimes put enough protection around us that when we're out in public, we don't take on other people's energies. But when it's someone that we love and we care about, it can be really difficult not to just, especially when you're really empathetic. I think people who are, just naturally more empathic do that a lot. And then it
Yeah.
just kind of gets you to a point where, all of a sudden you're like, what's going on? And you haven't realized all that you've taken on
Yeah.
and sometimes all that's even been put on you. And
Yeah.
like dealing with your mom and your sister and now your two friends and who are also support workers, I can see where that's a lot, and I'm the same way. I can't, if I'm having a bad time, if I'm struggling, there are certain areas that can't be cluttered for me. Like my room can be really cluttered, but other places I can't walk in. Like a cluttered kitchen, that drives me crazy. And
I can't handle kitchen colors.
yeah, and it actually causes me anxiety. So when I get really, really anxious, that's like the first thing that I'm doing is like decluttering, stuff. So I can understand. It's
Well, tidy house, tidy mind, and like I walked in and it was so absolutely, Misha. If my mother couldn't find me, I was in my room reading a book. And I read everything. Even now, when I'm getting blood tests, because I have a fear of needles, I'm like reading the thing, going like, okay, so what's that about? Washing hands? Cool. I'm learning how to wash hands again. So, but yeah, But,
So, Misha had a question. Cosmic, when you were little, did you have a strong desire to read everything you see, literally, like even when driving down the road, all signs, everything? I remember obsessed and still.
absolutely everything. I could even read in the car. I didn't get car sick.
mm-hmm.
Wow.
I still don't get car sick. I can read in the car. I'll be on my phone like, and I can read books. Well, when I can read again, I can read books in the car. It doesn't bother me. Well, if I remember my glasses, because apparently now I'm like old and blind. But yeah. But it is kind of my drama because they're my and my son yesterday. More. This is my drama too because he's my monkey. He's my circus. He said something. He said something about my sister that was so upsetting. I won't repeat it, but I actually had to. Something is shining on me, and it's very annoying. That was so upsetting. Like he thought he was being funny. I don't know. He got home from work. I made him wait because it was rude to me while I was at work. Well, he was rude. Like he's got these expectations. He's 23. He should have his license, and he's just. I've babied him, and now I'm like trying to cut the apron strings. You know, like I'm trying to push him out. I'm not trying to push him out of the nest. He can stay in the nest, but he can stay on his side and learn to do his own stuff. You know, but but I'm trying to cut the apron strings, and he can learn how to do stuff. And I actually had to send a message to my sister saying, "Am I crazy? Was I like?" He actually gasped at me yesterday. My own son gasped at me because he was like, because I sent him a message, and he's like, "You're doing this to me while I'm doing theory." Like I just said, he had to call his job in Australia. We've got job providers and blah 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 blah. And I'm like, okay, you need to do this because it's important. Otherwise, you're going to be cut off. Because he's doing traineeship. Long story short, he's like, you're doing this while I'm doing theory. And I'm like, I'm not trying to start anything, but it's important. Otherwise, you're going to be cut off and you have to start the whole process again.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I said, have a good day. And I'm expected to pick him up while I'm under a new medication, which was always planned. I didn't know he was going to get a traineeship, you know. And I said to him, maybe make some friends and carpool. Bit harsh, but anyway, but he was harsh to me. So I sent these messages to my sister, who is, I kind of made her the meat in a sandwich in this situation, but not to, just to see if I was being unreasonable. And she goes, no.
No, I wouldn't say you are.
Yeah, because like he shouldn't have even read them until his lunch break anyway. Because I said, don't do it until do it on your lunch break. Because he doesn't normally answer until his lunch break anyway. And so I was just like, you know, I'm just like, so it was just like a build up of straws on the camel's back for the, you know, and it was just like,
yeah.
You know, I always make threats of violence. Like, I'm going to punch you in the face. But actually, yesterday, I really wanted to punch him in the face after the joke about my sister, because she had an aneurysm on my 40th birthday, and he made a joke about her being on the special bus. And I'm just like, you know, don't ever punch down. You can make jokes. Me and my sister make jokes. You're not allowed.
Yeah.
You know, you just don't, you can make jokes. You always punch up or sideways, never punch down. And I just stomped into the fuel station, and then he could see my face, because you can tell I'm angry, you know, because I could never play poker because I wore it. And I was just like, I box breathed so many times. No idea. I was like, I may not have got the timing right or did everything, but I'm just like, breathe, Christie. I'm just like, I've got Christie in my head. I'm breathing, because otherwise I would have. And I unclenched my jaw so many times, and I'm just like, I've just gotta. I can't go to jail. I'm going to cause some damage, you know, like, and also my right hand is really sore. I can't, you know, I'm going to, it's not worth it, you know. So I was just like, I was not ready. I was so angry. Like, I was ready for violence. And I'm not a violent person. It's just like, I was so mad.
Yeah.
That's understandable.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, I'm that way. I'm exactly that way with my brother. Like, I can say anything in the world to my brother, but I don't care who you are. You could be my sister-in-law, whom I love to the ends of the earth. You could be my own mother, and I would be like, you better back it on up. Because there's just something about that. I understand it completely. And, you know, and that was just, and I don't, you know, as far as sharing with people, like, what's going, that's a healthy response to say, you know, am I being unreasonable? Because you are the kind of person who would change that behavior if you were. You would try to understand it. You would try to improve it. You would try to change it. And there's nothing dramatic about that. You know, there's nothing wrong about that. And I think you've got a lot going on around you.
I would say it's a boundary. I mean, whether you set it firm or not, you're saying that's not okay. You know,
Well, I said
in
that.
our relationship, right? Yeah, in our relationship, I'm not going to allow you to talk about my sister like that. You know?
He said, "Am I allowed to talk about my sister like that?" And I says, "Well, she punched
No.
you, so
Right.
sure,
Yeah.
but don't talk about my sister like that." Because
Yeah.
his sister was pretty violent towards him and me. I know
Yeah.
I keep referring back to it. So I'm like, you say whatever you want about your sister, just not to me because she's my daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, just remember she's my daughter.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I think sometimes kids forget those relationships. Like I know one time my dad and my brother got into it because my brother smarted off to my dad about my mom. And my dad was like, that's my wife.
My wife.
Not that don't talk about your mother that way. It was that's my wife. And that was the first time I'd ever, because usually my dad's like, be respectful of your mom, don't, but my dad was like, that's my wife. And in that instance, you were reminded. It's not like we didn't know. It's not like we didn't understand that, but it had never been put in those terms before. And I think sometimes, especially in a family situation, you kind of forget, like, oh, that's just aunt whatever. And but you forget, no, that's my mom's sister, and I think sometimes it's
She's
easy.
also my cousin.
Well, there you go. You're like, not only are you not going to talk about my sister that way, you're not going to talk about my cousin that way either.
Yeah. So, but it's just like, I'll explain it a little bit. We were talking about how I used to ride on a bus. We were talking about first aid certificates and how Jaden, my son's name is Jade or Jay. There is this fly. Oh, I shouldn't do that. This hurts. About how he had done a really good job on my wrist the first day that he wrapped it, and how my mother had guided him all the way from New Zealand, and how she is a specialist CPR person. We won't go into the whole story, and that's because she had done support work for 20 odd years for people with specialist disabilities, and how I'd ridden on a bus when I was about 13 with people who actually licked windows. And then I said my sister Tanya used to lick windows, like just for fun, because she liked the texture. It's cold, and she's also a bit. She thinks she's funny. She's not, but she thinks she is. So, but she doesn't do it anymore because now she understands that it's an ableist thing to do. But anyway, and then Jaden said, "Oh, so is that where your mum picked Tanya up?" And I was just like, "Don't you say that about my sister."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the whole car went quiet because I had my support worker in the car who works with, people with disabilities and aged care and all that sort of stuff. He's like, "Why? It's funny. It's just a joke." And I'm like, "It's not a joke. She nearly died on my 40th birthday. Actually nearly died, and now she's got a permanent traumatic brain injury."
Yeah.
And it's just like the fact that he had been going at me all day, like thinking he's funny, like funny. And and this kid doesn't know when to stop. And I just wish maybe I hadn't joked around with him so much. I wish I hadn't taught him humor, because I'm pretty funny, but I know when to stop. I know when to stop. He doesn't know when to stop. He just keeps going. He just keeps drilling that hole, and and he just keeps digging. And he just kept digging yesterday. And I said, Jaden, I'm not in the mood. I've got, I've been overwhelmed all weekend. And he just kept digging. And he just kept saying stuff that was like some of it was a stab to the heart, some of it was a knife in the back, And I'm just like, what did I do? What did I do? Like, I was gone for 2 days. And I've been here all month. I know I go away a lot to go spend time with my carer, but that's what I need to do because I need care.
I wonder for me, sometimes with kids, it's like negative attention is still attention.
Well, he's 23. He's not a kid.
Well, I mean, he's still a kid. He's going to behave in a childish way to you. Maybe.
Well, yeah, he has regrets. Like he's lived at a home for. He's been through a lot, so I have given him a lot of leeway, But when does it end? And I do basically everything for him, but we've come to an understanding where, when we say stop, it has to stop. He would not stop, and I said stop. I said stop, but he just went over the line. He went so far past the line, it was out into past, what's the pretend planet? Pluto?
No, the new one.
Yeah.
Love the pretend planet, Pluto.
Yeah, no, I love
the real planet.
I think so.
Both.
Yeah, but it's just like, he just went so far past the line, and I just tried to hold it together. Mm-hmm. Because I just refuse to yell at him.
Mm-hmm. I just had an issue with my son who's about 22, and this is interesting. So, I mean, I have been really busy. I'll have to go back. I'll have to backtrack to kind of tell this story. I'll jump around.
Yeah, someone else take over for a second because I need to let my dog out. She's going to go get the door.
Well, my son, a friend of mine texted me and said, "Does your son work at Steak and Shake?" And I was like, no, he does not. He has a full-time job at ONF, and we're paying for him to take classes at the university. Mm-hmm. And the last couple he's failed, and so I'm like, we can't keep paying for you to go to the university. He does learn other things, social skills, showing up on time. Anyway. And so I was like, nope, no, he sure doesn't. And then she's like, are you sure? And I'm like, I don't know. She said it like she was pretty sure she knew. And so then I text Zach back, this is all through text communication. And he goes, what did he go? He goes, oh, yeah, I did finally. He comes back to me. So then I tell my friend, oh, he does have a second job at Steak and Shake. She's like, I know, because I texted you. And then before you got back to me, he walked up to our table and I said, hey, blah, 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 blah. But so he kind of lied to us because earlier he's needing help with his car and my husband was going to help him. And he said, I can't, I have class. And I said, no, he doesn't. I signed him up for class. He works, he goes to class Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. Anyway, so then he lied to us. And I'm like, well, why do you lie to us? And I was thinking maybe he has an exercise class or something at Planet Fitness. Mm-hmm. And he might be here soon, but that's weird, right? And then it came up again that my friend is like, well, do you track him? It's like, no, I don't track. We don't track each other. I know we should, or we've talked about that before, but. Right. And Molly wants to track me. When you have anxiety, would that really make it better? Tracking people, does it on your phone?
I don't know.
Do you guys track?
Michael and I have Life 360. And it was his idea to do it because when he drives around, he's driving all over, and he got it right before he drove to Alaska, and he'd be going through Canada. In one sense, yes, it helps because I can be like, oh, he's here, he's there, and he can track me and be like, oh, Christie's at the store. So kind of, it's not like a control thing. It's like, I just want to make sure you're okay thing, like help out. Now, when I get into my own head and I'm having these thoughts of, I haven't heard from him, where's he at? The thing is that Life 360 sometimes will stop at these weird places. And I'm not even joking. One time I literally called him and bawled him out for like 30 minutes. And I'm like, who lives at this address? Why are you here? You've been there for 30 minutes. What is this house? Who's at this house? And he's like, I have no idea what you're talking about. And he literally took a picture and he was nowhere near. It had stopped randomly.
So it can be a beneficial thing because when he's traveling, it is really helpful for me. And I can be like, oh, okay, I know he's there, like this is where he's at. But sometimes when I get in my own head, it is the worst thing in the world. So,
Okay.
I mean, it's and I have to understand that that's me, but it might, if it really would help her, I mean, it shows where you're at. Like, I mean, and it shows where you are. Like you can zoom in and it has a little dot and it shows right where you're at, how long you've been there, all of that kind of stuff.
Right. Well, I mean, it's just something we've talked about. We've never done it. And I appreciate that comment, Zelda. He probably is. And he always wants to be independent. I mean, he's the one that was later diagnosed as autistic. And he hated being a kid. He hated it so much. I never could understand. But he hated feeling like he didn't have control, didn't have full autonomy of himself.
Okay.
So I don't think he likes having to ask us for money, and I appreciate his independence. I do. I just, if he could let us help him kind of get the step up that we want, like a handout, like a hand up type situation.
Zelda wants to know, or wants to say, Sarah, I think it's probably somewhat for a lot of kids, Sarah, especially if they're trying out their independence, maybe.
I agree with that. I think, and he's somebody that really wants to be seen as, a man and independent.
Yeah.
It is hard. And as women, he does things that is scary for women. And I try to explain him to that, and he doesn't understand that. He lives in this world where he's not violent or anything, but he doesn't understand how scary it is as a woman.
Yeah.
And how we have to act differently and we're not allowed to be ourselves. It's not our fault that we have to exist in this world that men created. And so I don't know. Anyway, that's another story. As a woman, he just doesn't respect me the way he should. But if I had Life 360, then I could be, yes, he's at Steak and Shake for the past 4 hours. He must work there. I mean, anyway, so.
I mean,
Zelda had a question for you, Cosmic. Had that ever been done to him as far as just the pushing it past the point? I'm assuming that's what the question is in reference to.
Right.
Sorry. Yes. He's had 2 very controlling girlfriends, and he's only 23.
Oh, okay.
So, but he came home, and it's he's regressed. He actually said to me, he's doing actual manual labor. I'm like, what do you think I've been doing the last 23 years, son? In my head, I didn't say it because I'm like, I'm not starting this. I'm trying to reduce the level of animosity in my household.
Right.
Sorry, I look so like a turtle because I've been crying. I cried so much yesterday.
You look
beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I just looked at myself for the first time. I was like a turtle. But yeah, it's just but yeah, he's been through so much. And that's why both my kids have, and I tried to stop the cycle, and I hope they can. That's all I hope of abuse, and they ended up they'd never been. Oh gosh, I wish I could say that they've seen abuse at my house, and my son has been abused physically, saving me, trying to save me by 2 partners physically. But I've always said, just run. That's always it. You don't try and save me. Just run and go find help, because they should never have to do that for their parent.
Well, easier said than done when you're the kid in that situation.
Yeah, especially when they see their mum doing it, because I know for myself, I've always been the person to step. I'm 5 foot. I say 3, but I'm actually 5'2". But yeah, so but I've always been the person to stand in between, thinking that I can resolve things, with words, because pen is mightier than the sword. Not when people are like ready for a fight. So,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know. But generally, because I disarm people with humor.
Yeah.
But,
Okay,
yeah.
you all have convinced me. I'm gonna get Life 360, and we're gonna start knowing where everybody's at. And use our phones.
It's actually really good. My daughter actually asked me to start tracking her because when she started going out with her boyfriend in the car, she's like, "All right, Mum, I need you to start knowing where I am," because she didn't trust. She didn't trust her the driver to be safe because she's a worrywart. So
Hey, that's great that you said that. My daughter wants us to have it too because she wants to track me. She wants to know how far I am away from picking her up.
Yeah,
Aw.
Like it's sweet, but it's weird that we live in this world where like she could already call me and I can be like, I'm pulling up now.
Yeah.
Like we live in this like instant gratification world where people are walking with their phones and they're not even like enjoying the leaves or the view, and
Yeah.
it's I don't know. It's something I've wrestled with. Like our youngest still doesn't have technology, which you would think 11 for technology as far as a phone would be young. I mean, he has technology. He has a VR. He has TV. He just doesn't have a cell phone. That's what I mean by technology. That's sad that I'm saying that, but anyway.
I mean, and live streams, it can be very reassuring because you know exactly where they are and how long they've been there, and if anything ever happened, like if they ever got a flat tire, you would know where they're at. Like it's not a bad thing. And when you understand that it's not a I don't trust you, so I'm tracking your every move thing, then it's been
I don't think that that's necessarily where I'm at. I just want to keep some of the technology out of my life as much as I can. Like I feel like the more I let in, then the more it does occupy your time.
Yeah.
And so like how much of it is good to sit and just have to wait and wait with yourself. Like there was this whole study where people just had to sit with themselves. They had to sit with themselves for 15 minutes or give themselves an electrical shock. That was the choice. 15 minutes. We're not talking 30 even.
right.
Something like 30 something percent of women shocked themselves, and over 80% of men shocked themselves rather than sit with yourself. So, and I think that the technology, like I enjoy having nothing in the car sometimes for my thoughts. Other times I enjoy music, but I think that we're trying to get away from ourselves always, even with the self-help I find with myself.
Yeah.
Like I can get so much into the self-help, and like with my younger kids, we tried so hard to put them in everything. I thought they had to always be participating in something.
Mm-hmm.
And we were so busy, like we're slapping high fives on the way out. We weren't even spending any time as a family. And then now with the younger ones, they wish that we'd put them in more stuff. So it's one half a dozen.
Well, and
that is life.
Zelda was wanting to know if your kids were in therapy.
So my son's been in therapy since he was 7. Well, he was, but now that he wants to join the army, he can't really be in therapy. Otherwise, that's a bad tick against his name. He's fine actually. Like,
That's messed up. That's really messed up.
It's a bad tick against his name if he has like issues. But he doesn't really have issues.
It's that way in the United States too. Yeah, if you are diagnosed with anything, a lot of places won't take you. That's why a lot of people end up in the army, is because they're more open about who they take. That's why my son-in-law was in the army. He didn't graduate high school. He got his GED, so he could only go into the military. And when they found out that he was struggling with certain things, they medically retired him. Like they don't mess around with it at all, at least here. So I understand what you're saying, like about that.
Well, they already know he has ADHD. They're fine with that. They know he's a gamer. They really want him for a drone operator. But he's gonna in the next I don't know, he's got this traineeship, so he's saving up for LASIK surgery, you know, that eye surgery that you get to. But if he said anything about any of his, but he's so like, now he's got this traineeship, he thinks he's top shit, I've got to say, you know, like, you're just a stay-at-home mum, dude. I raised you. You just shut your face. I'll throat punch you if you say that again. Although he hasn't said it, but the actual, I'm not violent. I've never hit my kids. I'm a gentle parent. I just say stuff. You know, like I'm all about the words. I'm not about the action. You know, as far as that stuff is concerned. But yeah, it's just like I even do a tequila. You don't stop your barking, I will kick your ass. And she's never been hit in her life.
Right.
She's never even really been yelled at. So I'm just a gentle, quiet person. And generally, unless I get really riled up. But never, you know, I've never even yelled at my kids. So when I yell at them, when I used to yell at them, it was to yell over them, to tell them to shut up because they're yelling at each other.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, because I don't like, and even when because my kids, my daughter's partner lived for years with us, and I yelled once, and he goes, "I've never heard you yell before." He said, "I know, my throat hurts." Like even at a concert, like the other night, like I didn't yell. I'm like, yay, clap, 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 clap. Yeah, I'm a very muted person. But yeah, it's just but yeah, no, my my daughter, she tried to do therapy, but she doesn't talk. She was what I would call, she has selective mutism. Well, apparently it turns out she doesn't, but she did when I was around.
Huh.
She can talk fine. Yeah, but when I was around, she had selective mutism. I would do most of the talking for her. Turns out whenever I'm not around, she can talk fine. I enabled her, I think is what it's called.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but as far as I was aware, she was too. She just wouldn't talk, and so I'd have to sit in the meetings with her, and the psychologist would be like, "So, Angel, how you going today?" And I'd look over at her, and she'd be like, and I'd be like, this is how her week has been, as far as I'm aware, because I could read her body language, because no, hello. And I'll tell her, the therapist, because it always had to be female, because, you know, I'll just stop this. They're calling from Orange in New South Wales. But yeah, so I had to tell them, but I could only read her body language. I'm not in her brain. So I had to get her comfortable enough, and it would take months before I could sort of be like, "All right, Angel, are you all right? So I could leave you in the room. You can say anything you want. Talk about me, talk about Jaden, talk about whatever." And the therapist is not going to tell me what you say about me or Jaden or anything, you know. And you don't have to tell me either. I'm not going to ask you any questions, you know. Just be free to say whatever you want, you know. Just so she knew that she could be free to say whatever, you know.
Yeah.
And she just, but EDMR, is it EMDR or EDMR?
EDMR, yeah.
Yeah, that worked pretty well for her because she didn't have to talk. They just did like this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's similar with the tapping, and you don't even have to say it. They walk you through. At least for me, it was. My experience was, and I guess the lady who developed EDMR did it while walking in the woods because your eyes naturally track from side to side.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that worked the best for her because she didn't have to talk. She just had to think about the issues and follow the finger. That worked the best for her. And then and then she got 24 hours off. She got a day off school after, and you have to be, because you're reliving, because it works best for PTSD, and she had severe PTSD and CPSD. Sorry, there is a fly that's been harassing me, I swear.
Well, and we're all different, and therapy works different for everybody. And it's weird how like your mental health, you surrender over to people more than you would like anything else sometimes, because it already creates this insecure feeling, you know.
Yeah.
But I have a friend who's like, therapy will never work for me. It just doesn't work. I'm not a talker.
I am a
like,
talker, if you hadn't noticed.
Yeah. Well, verbal ventilation is only one thing that it does. Like you said, getting ideas from all of you ladies and from everybody who contributes that has experiences or has suggestions, that's huge, you know, just trying to think of something else, because I get stuck thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
And then for me with my kids, like my mom threw dishes at us and was very violent, and never did any repair, got in car accidents with us. So I was always afraid to be angry, like, or anything at my kids. So, but then I would blow up if I was being honest. And all of my sisters have yelling problems, like, you know, and it is scary. And so I, you know, want to not be, but one of the healthiest things I'm trying to learn is that stuffing it isn't bad either. Like wrapping myself up too tight and trying to cram those pieces in there, you know, that's not healthy either. So if we do have conflict, I try to remember to repair, you know, that's to come back and talk about it afterwards.
Yeah, that is.
And as Molly grows, my mom never gave us that. Like we never talked about it. Like all this crazy crap would happen and we weren't allowed to say anything, you know.
That's exactly what I do. I always try and like I'm not saying I'm a perfect parent. Like I would.
No, none of us are. That's why we're all here.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. So you know, I would like get frustrated is what I would call it, and like like I'm not saying I never yelled. I'm sure I did.
Right.
Like you know, why are you guys doing this? You know. But my kids are so unused to me raising my voice that because I'm a quiet person, like if I raise my voice above my natural quiet tone, they think I'm yelling at them. And so I'm like,
oh, right.
Do you want me to show you the difference? You know? I can show you what yelling is, but I really don't want to because it hurts my throat because I'm not used to yelling. Like I'm not a yeller. Sorry,
we always accuse Shane of yelling. He's just loud. He's loud when he walks. He's loud when he talks. We're like, you're yelling. He's like, I'm not yelling.
I even walk quietly because when I was made to move to my dad's house, he's got like squeaky boards. So I learned how to walk on the quiet boards because I don't like making a noise when I move.
Yeah.
Because I just walk. I try to walk through the world quietly. I don't know. It's just, I don't know if that's I need to talk to my therapist about that.
That triggers one of my favorite sayings: walk softly but carry a big stick. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I wonder if why you try to walk quietly through the world is because of your traumatic past. You know, if you're just quiet and you're not seen, then you can't have those things, you know. It's kind of like
attention, right?
Yeah, it's kind of like you know, if you're going through hell, keep going. You know, you might get out before anybody knows you're there. And so I wonder if maybe some of it is that for you. Just, you know, some of the things that has happened is just you're like, if I don't, and that might not be. I don't know. I don't know the truth, but you know.
I think that's probably, and also the hyper, like you talked about how much sounds affects you and you hear the vibrating. I walk so quiet, and if I have squeaky shoes at work, like it's something that we put on the floor. All shoes are squeaky, but it's annoying.
It's to stop you from slipping over, I think, probably. But I also wore a cape to the concert, and I was probably a cloak. I didn't get sunburnt, so you know, who knew that capes were like you know, sun sufficient. But they weren't hot. It's a very light material. It's But yeah, it was like light, and because I forgot my hat, which I left in the car. Anyway, but I wore a cape, so it's a cloak. Sorry, because it's got like a hood. So I was like walking around trying to keep out of the sun, and I was actually quite cool in it. It was it was a 40-degree day. It was so hot, humid. Like it was like walking through liquid. That's all I could say. It was like it's like a sauna. I don't know if I'm saying that. I sound so Aussie right now. I'm not even Aussie, but yeah, but it was just, and someone came up to me and touched my cloak. I got touched by so many people. I was like, touch me, no touchy, no touchy, no touchy, no touchy. But yeah, and so someone came up to me and said, "You're a witch." I'm like, "No, I'm a fairy," and then just walked off. I was not into it, Normally I'd be like, "I'm a fairy," I come from the outer rings of Saturn, blah 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 blah. Normally I'd be into it, but he wasn't. He wasn't a kid, so I was like that.
Right.
Yeah, but it was just like, I was just like, I did make a friend on because there was avail and a whole bunch of people, Limp Bizkit and Sepultura and like a whole bunch of different people there, and I missed half of it because I was in the freaking tent, and Fall Out Boy and Bullet for My Valentine. I'm fully into that sort of stuff, like I was born too early, but also born too late because I like earlier music as well. So it's like there should be strings of time,
Right.
I should stop moving my hand around so much, it hurts. But yeah, but it was so much fun. But also like I'm just gonna stick to watching YouTube. Because like I'm in front of my aircon, it's nice and cool. I'm not going to get heat stroke right here.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you didn't get to enjoy the music festival as much as you had hoped. And it's for you,
I have a whole bunch of videos I can upload, but they're not mine because I was in the tent. So. But they're probably also not music most of you would enjoy.
Well,
I love Sepultura.
Yeah.
Me too. Roots.
Yeah, that's great.
Bloody Roots. I don't know if they played that one because I didn't get there early enough. So, but and Corey Taylor was there from Slipknot. Oh, it was great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that sounds amazing.
It was really good. And I'm so glad I went because now I learned I'm too old for it.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I don't understand why they have them in summer in Australia. It's ridiculous.
Are people off in the summer? Like there in the United States? Is there a vacation? I don't know what I'm trying to say.
No, it's just on Sunday. And there was like people getting punched in the head, and there was like, how they have mosh pits and they have like swirls.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just ridiculous. Like when I was 17, I would have been like right in the middle of it. I actually was, and I was in the middle of it, and being me, I fell over and I caused like this big like circle of like people falling over. And I got carried out by this blonde Adonis. I'm like, thank you. Yeah. And I went right back in.
Normally they're really nice places where everybody picks everybody up. That's what I was about to say. Like you think of a mosh pit as somewhere where you get trampled, but that's not the case at all. They're very actually loving.
Not for girls. For
not the ones I've been in.
Yeah, not for blokes, they're a bit aggressive. For girls, they're like, oh sweetie. Yeah. But for blokes, they're like, I'll punch you in the head.
They'll just step on them. Damn.
Yeah. But yeah, I was just
boys are people too.
Yeah, I know, but they just I don't know, they just get there. There's no such thing as an alpha male. That's been discredited. But yeah, it has. It's been discredited. It was a false paper. There's no such thing as an alpha male. Usually it's a female wolf that leads, and it was actually based on chimpanzees anyway, in a zoo. But yeah.
What about little man's disease? I'm just kidding.
Well,
is there any status on that?
I think short woman's disease is they're more of an issue. Oh, right. Yeah, because like actually, this is a funny story. Funny story. So yesterday, my mate's neighbor is being a bit of an issue, and he yelled at a guest who rocked up at my mate's neighbor last night. Not last night, the night before. Because like when you park on the curb, no one owns the curb. Anyone can, I think, call it the curb, like the side, like and whatever you call the road over in America.
Right. The shoulder.
Yeah, like whatever the road. You park on the road. So no one owns that. It's council property. Anyone can park there for as long as they want, unless it's like too long, and then the council comes up and puts like a ticket on you. So he comes out like because they're having problems. He's actually got a camera on my neighbor's property, like so in the backyard, so the kids can't play out there anymore. We don't even know what started it because they used to be great friends. Anyway, he comes out and he yells at this, like our mate had his kid, like this 2-year-old Scarlett, in his arms, and he comes out and starts yelling at them for parking, saying, "Oh, I might have guests coming over." Well, and it's a 2-year-old in the hand, and Gabe starts yelling at him back. Well, after he puts Scarlett down, and Katie, his wife, shuffles them into the house. And Gabe is actually coming off alcohol right now without any help doing it himself.
Oh.
His father's just passed cancer. A whole bunch of stuff. And this man, like, he never yells at me. I'm the only one he hasn't yelled at. I don't know why. He just scowls at me. I scowl back. I also do the finger at his camera every time I get out of the car. I'm waiting. I'm waiting. Because I'll be really polite. I'm like, this is council property. Anyone can park here. Mm-hmm. I'll be really polite, but I am petty. But yeah, so I just like, you can call the council on me, but I'll call the council on you for having your cameras facing my friend's property. That's illegal.
Right.
I can't wink properly, but anyway. Yeah, so, and he just yelled and screamed. And I was like, is there like some domestic happening down the road? And I'm just like, oh my God. Like, I think that's a part of the problem too, because like, I've got my heart racing because I can't handle like, I could have handled this confrontation. So I actually, after this happened, I went out because he's been putting screws in front of people's tires who park out the front of his house. So after that happened, I went on purpose with my phone camera light and went and checked for screws, like over dramatically.
Right.
In front, going like, Australia, man. Bunch of bogans.
Oh.
Michael is calling. I'm gonna let you guys go, but I will see you tomorrow.
Okay.
I'm sorry I overtook everything today.
It's okay. It's okay. You needed a meeting.
I really did.
You really did. It's all right. Do you feel better?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I don't know how to do the guided meditation thing, but I can lead us in some deep breath, in some box breathing. Does that sound good?
Yes, it does. I did it so much yesterday, but I did it wrong.
Really? How do you do it wrong?
A lot of because I lose count a lot because I know squirrels.
Oh, okay. Well, I think I can keep count. All righty. So just, as Christy likes to say, shake all the tension off and all the negativity and drop into your heart space, and we're going to breathe in positivity and hold for, for a count of 4, breathing in, and then hold for a count of 4, and then breathe out for a count of 4, breathing everything out, like completely emptying your lungs of breath. And then we'll do that 3 times. Okay, and so if we're ready here, breathe in. Hold. And breathe out. In. Hold. And breathe out. Breathe in. Hold. And breathe out. And one more just for good measure. Breathe in. Hold. And breathe out. And when you're ready, open your eyes and shake it off. Shake off all the negativity.
You like Taylor Swift?
Sarah says, hijacking a meeting because you need a meeting. I have no problem. I don't either. If you need a meeting, you need a meeting. That's why we're here. That's why we're here. So it's all good. So how do you feel?
Much better.
Good.
Yeah, I think like apparently heat stroke. I should stop Googling.
Yeah.
Apparently heat stroke can last up to a week. So I'm just going to go back to bed and stay hydrated and try and eat more.
Yeah. Sounds like a good plan.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Well, I love you. Have a good day. And
I love you too. I love all of you. I'm sorry I haven't been responding because my hand hurts. And it's really awkward typing on one thing.
Yeah. That looks like your hand looks like that's painful.
Yeah. So it is painful, but it's getting better. It's just because I keep doing my own physio on it, and everyone says, just let it rest. I'm like, but if I do that, it will hurt more. I love everyone. Thank you for being here.
Yes, love you too.
Cosmic show.
and reach out by messenger if you need to.
Yeah, I will. Thank you.
All right.
I'm so glad I've got no one here today. I'm just going to go sleep, and everyone else can deal with the mess.
That's right. That's right. All righty. Have a good one.
Night, everyone. Peace.
Night.
And huzzah.
Oh, yeah, I forgot the huzzah.
All right, thank you. Love you.
Love you too. And you guys, thank you so much for being here and for supporting Cosmic and those who needed support in the chat, and for being such great people. And it's never, ever a meeting without you. And hope to see you next meeting. And until then, peace, y'all.